So there are many different types of garden beds to choose from, but today we're going to talk about some of the easiest ones. The bed that I'm sitting in right now is an existing bed in the garden. You can build your own beds or you can buy them in the store. You can also dig out your own beds. You can plant your veggies in containers, or you can buy fabric grow bags. So by the end of this video, you'll know exactly what garden bed is best for you and what's worth both your time and money. So let's start. Touch a shovel, choosing your bed site matters more than people think. And here are our top 4 rules for choosing a garden bed site. Okay, so rule number 1, pick a spot with full sun, and that means 6 hours of direct sunlight per day at least. Remember, no sun, no food. Okay, rule number 2, avoid low areas that collect water because standing water means root rot. Rule number 3, check for buried cables or pipes. You do not want to hit a gas line. Now, rule number 4, check your water source. You need to be close to a water source and make sure your hose is long enough. Okay, so let's start with the hardest one, digging your own bed. Now, digging your own bed, of course, is a lot of work. But the upside to that is that you can make the bed any shape you want, and you can get really creative here. Another upside is that you'll get to know your soil and you can remove every rock and root. So this, for example, is a bed that I would dig out for hand. And I know it looks like a lot of work, but I would get in really good shape by doing that. And then I could fill it with really good soil. Now let's talk about one of the most popular options, and that's a raised bed. The definition of a raised bed is a bed that's off the ground and enclosed. But even if you're digging out a bed, make sure that you pile up the soil a little bit above ground so it gets good drainage. And raised beds are better for drainage. They're better for your back. You don't have as much weeds. And perfect for small spaces. Now, a raised bed, you can either buy that at the store or build your own. So if you're making your own beds, go onto YouTube because there's plenty of people doing really fun ideas about making beds, and be creative. So this bed, for example, it's a raised bed. I wouldn't dig this out. What I'd do to make it a lot easier would be to lay cardboard down first. If you lay cardboard down, it will decompose by next spring and have killed all the weeds at the same time. One tip about cardboard, get cardboard that doesn't have that much text on it, because the ink in the text contains lead, because that is toxic and you don't want that in your vegetable garden. So what if you don't want to build anything? Well, then you can get containers. Containers come in all shapes and sizes. They also come in different materials, but make sure you drill holes in the bottom of the container for drainage. Otherwise, you're going to get root rot. So we've used in our garden tires, an old bathtub, an old bed, and also an old kid's dipping pool. So get creative when it comes to your garden beds. There's one method that people overlook a lot, and that is what I call the genius lazy method. Now what you can do is just put cardboard straight down on your lawn or anywhere in your garden, and then put a bunch of soil on top of that. So this no-till approach blocks weeds, and the cardboard decomposes over time and builds soil naturally. So before adding any raised beds in your garden, we need to talk about measurements. So the maximum width of your bed should be 1.5 meters. Which is 5 feet. You want to be able to reach into your vegetables without breaking your back, and you also want to be able to reach your vegetables without walking in the bed. You do not want to compact the soil. If you're putting your bed against a wall, then you only want it to be half of that width, so you can still reach your vegetables. But also, you need to think about the depth of the bed. Now, 30 centimeters, about a foot, is great for most vegetables. But for root vegetables, however, you're going to need a 45 centimeter deep bed, which is about 18 inches deep. So don't forget the pathway, because it's really important to have about minimum 45 centimeters, which is 18 inches. And the reason is that you're going to want to be able to get a wheelbarrow in between there, You're going to want to make sure, if you're doing beds on a lawn, that your lawnmower fits between your beds. So I have one more tip for you guys, and that is grow bags. I can't say enough about grow bags. They're one of my favorite. One, because you can move them around. They have handles on them. Now, another thing about them is that you can fold them up and put them away when you don't use them, and they don't take up a lot of space. If there's a frost, you can bring your grow bags inside. If there's a storm, you can also bring them inside, so you can save your plants. So which garden bed wins? So if you want maximum control, you dig your own beds. If you want long-term durability, raised wooden beds. If you want low effort, no dig cardboard beds. So there is no perfect bed. It's only the one that fits your goals. But now you know the truth before wasting time or spending money. We've been looking around today to see where we're going to have our vegetable beds, and we've run into a big problem. We talked to the neighbor, and there's a huge goat problem up here on the property. Yeah. Even though it's fenced in, it's got a 2-meter high fence around it, and the goats can actually get over that fence. Yeah, and they'll come in and they'll eat all our vegetables. We have actually found an old chicken coop, which we're going to use to grow our vegetables. The good news is it actually has a mesh roof, so the goats can't get in. And the brilliant thing about that is it's an old chicken coop with chicken shit in it already that's been sitting there for about 2 years with no chickens in it. And chicken shit is a great fertilizer for your veggies. Yes. Okay, so here is the chicken coop, and this is going to be where we'll grow our vegetables this year. We're going to use this little coop where the chickens used to live, and we're going to be able to use this to store all our gardening tools in and anything that we need for our garden. Also, there's old hay in here, and it's probably got chicken shit in it too. And what we can do is we can use this to mulch our garden with. So the first thing we're going to start doing is getting all these weeds out of here and pile them up in the corner. But first, we need to start a compost pile. These weeds go on top. So in the spring, when you're cleaning up your yard and picking sticks and raking leaves, it's the perfect time to start your compost pile. So next video, we're going to talk about composting, because that is black gold for your garden. Thank you so much for supporting us, and don't forget to like and subscribe. And thanks for watching. See you next time.